You said about how results obviously dictate your mood after the game.
Yeah.
Have you found it difficult this season to go back home and be the father, husband, that sort of thing? Or have you allowed the sort of results to get to you at home at all?
No, I think, look, I won't sit here and say I'm the only manager in the world who is able to completely shut it out, you know. And of course you go home and you take it with you, but then it depends a little bit as well on your support system. I'm lucky as well to have kids at a beautiful age. So, you know, it's that, you know, maybe when they're teenagers, all of them, and I have a different conversation, maybe it becomes tougher. But right now it's, you know, they want to play with their toys, they want to play video games or whatever. Then you haven't got any time anymore to dwell too much. So I have that kind of support system that is there. People I can rely on, but then after that as well, the experience of being a player myself as well, I know that I need to snap out of it at some point. It's important, and usually my reset button is if I say so myself, is pretty spectacular.
You've had to press it quite a few times this season.
I've had to, yeah.
The sort of your career's obviously allowed you to be that resilient because you've done it before as a player.
Yeah, and but it's also it's a mindset. I explain it. I don't know if I said it in a press conference, you know, but maybe I'll help you understand a little bit how I function, you know. So, do you know, not so long ago, you're facing 60,000 people on a balcony, and you give them a wave, and as you give them a wave, you get a wave back from 60,000 people, and then you do an open bus parade, and everybody's chucking shirts and scarves and flowers. And I think just for a split moment, it's not bad to sometimes imagine, you know, what if things don't happen that way? What if you have a moment where you're struggling, you know, and those same people might be angry at you? Just a split moment, so you don't ruin the moment, but still a split moment where you think of this. And the key thing is then you can almost visualize the fact that you will have consistency in a moment where this happened, which I knew at that moment in time that it could happen in 8 months' time, and we are here now. And then now you're in this moment, so how do you visualize the future? And I visualize the same people that are now angry being the ones that are, again, waving, cheering, being with us. So I have fully in my mind that we have to be consistent. That's the big thing. We have to be consistent. We have to always have, you spoke about the reset button, but it's because it makes sense. It's not just a dreamer's thing. It makes sense. It's just hard to do. And we work hard. We're as honest as we can be with our jobs, and then you know, it gives us a chance to enjoy it even in tough times.
Thanks, Keelan. We've got to Andy and then Hamdo.
Hi, Vinny. Just on the theme of sort of the back to work element and sort of your message and the principles of stay consistent throughout the season, but when you're presenting it to the players as the season goes on, how do you keep it fresh? Do you have to change the way you present the message to them, especially when you're on sort of bad runs of form and stuff like that?
That's in every scenario though. Even when you're winning, you have to, or you know, you have to adapt things constantly. But the biggest thing is you have to be authentic as well in what you say. So even if you change little things, the way you deliver it, the way you present it, and we spoke about belief, but it's about every message you present to the team. But then you have to be authentic with it as well. And you know, I think that's how we try and approach it.
And we spoke about the sort of senior players in the squad throughout the season and sort of how they've been important. When you talk about the sort of the being the collective now, how important have they been, especially recently with the types of results that you've had? Have they, you know, had to step up a little bit more and within the dressing room? Because I suppose they've more likely to have been here and lived these types of situations than some of the younger players.
I think it's a blend. It's those players for sure, but they bring others as well along, and that's also I could be sat here saying believe, but in reality it's also because I get that feeling back from them. You know, I get that feeling that they're wanting to take this fight on. They're trying to rebel against it. You know, and yeah, you can't do it on your own. So that's a massive part of a group, is to have that in the dressing room as well. Thank you.
Philly, the team you've assembled this year, it's almost like a new team because of all the change you had to make, because people were unknown, etc. But what's it like in the dressing room when you sort of lose the week? How do they stay confident, really?
I think my experience in the past would say that players usually lose belief in themselves more quicker than in what's around it. And I feel it's important to show that you believe in them, that you trust them, that they can turn the corner, not in a month's time, but like next game, and constantly. So the first thing that players feel in a moment like this is, am I going to get singled out? Am I going to get isolated? Am I going to get the blame for everything? And it's an easy game to do if you do it for yourself because it makes you feel better. That's something you can do. But for me, it's much more effective to show them, like, look, we go again. Just go again. And in those moments, to realize that your support system is the people in the club. And yeah.
And just following on from that, Vinny, it's just this bigger point. How do you stay positive? Because with Everton getting the 4 points back, it's now 11 points to save team. With the goal difference, you'd argue it's even 12. But how do you have that positivity to say, come on, lads, let's go again, let's get the points, let's do it?
Well, you focus on the next game. You know, I maybe have a different look at it because it's not like I've never been in a championship, right? So I can almost, I don't need to look too much below me. I know what it is, and the only focus should be on staying in the Premier League. That's all it is. We should focus on trying to win the next game and the game after that, and not, you know, people have got these things where they get dragged down by the consequences. You look at the consequences, and nobody's brave enough, or not nobody, but it's hard to be brave enough to look at the opportunities of a situation. So yeah, the opportunities and probabilities are less. We're not naive to that, but still you have to look at the opportunities of the situation.
Thank you. Thanks, Nando.
Done?
Juliet, you go and set up in your room. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.
And Steve, you thank us.